This is just another one of the half dozen builds or so that I often use in my story videos, where I quite often have people asking what I'm using, so this will be somewhere quick I can point people towards. One of the things I love about the Division is that there is a ridiculous number of options for you to vary up your builds to completely change the way you play through content. For me, I love playing the sniper from time to time. There's something about the one-tap headshot kill that is incredibly satisfying. I don't watch build videos, and I'll never claim that whatever I've built is the best of its type, as I'm a strong believer in the fact that there is no person on the internet that can throw some pieces together, run the numbers, and decide what is the best, most amazing, godlike, OP build for your style of play. Instead, use what you see as a template and adjust to whatever works best for you. It's also worth noting that I play solo the majority of the time, so a lot of my builds are certainly not spec'd for group play. I've been playing around and changing things on this build for the last 12 months, and I can absolutely guarantee that there are many more ways to gain considerably higher damage numbers. But maybe it's just me, but I really don't like having to proc a dozen different talents across multiple weapons and skills in order to get the chance to land a high damage shot. I just want to shoot stuff in the head and kill them with little hassle. But some people like this, so I'll suggest some alternative pieces along the way. I'm not going to read through the set perks or each individual talent description in order to inflate the length of this video, because by now, I'm sure you know what these are, or you can read for yourself in-game. The idea behind this build is ridiculously straightforward. Stack all the headshot damage you can. Here I am running 4 pieces of aces and 8s on the mask, gloves, holster, and knee pads. The backpack is the Heraldi Holdings with the Vigilant talent rolled onto it. Heraldi because of the native brand set bonus of 10% marksman rifle damage. The chest is the named Walker, Harris & Co. brand set piece called Chain Killer, which has the perfect headhunter talent. For slightly more damage you could swap out the knee pads for Sawyers, but personally I move around far too much to take advantage of this talent. All pieces have been rolled into weapon damage for the core attribute and headshot damage as the secondary attribute. You should be able to get around 300% or more headshot damage. I've spent a lot of time playing around trying to find a balance between critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and headshot damage to see if I can get the best of both, but I found putting everything into headshot as being the most consistent. The primary weapon I use is the White Death for its huge boost to headshot damage. The talent is Lucky Shot because, you know, I don't have perfect aim. You could certainly swap this out for something that will increase your damage further. Just remember though, the more time you spend reloading, the less damage you'll be doing over time. You may have noticed that I don't run a marksman scope. Yes, this means I lose out on up to 45% extra headshot damage, but there is a reason for this. I've enjoyed playing the sniper role since the days of the Division 1, where I mainly played on Xbox. Firstly, sniping on console, at least in the Division 1, is much easier than on PC. The auto-aim on controller, when popping the left trigger right trigger over and over, was extremely OP, hence why I use the Lucky Shot talent on PC. But also the main difference between the Division 1 and 2 is the forced scoping in Division 2. It may not be much to most, but I find the scoping far too slow for my playstyle, and also a bit limiting for the varied range you need to be able to shoot as a solo player. The secondary weapon is the classic M1A. This is just if I'm struggling to hit my headshots and I need something a little faster if I'm being rushed down. You may instead choose to use something a little more flexible, like an AR or SMG. The specialization is Sharpshooter, because this is the one that gives the most benefits to a sniper build, like headshot damage and increased armor while in cover. I also quite like the Tactician drone, just to help keep me aware of enemies sneaking up around me. The other skill I use is the classic Reviver Hive, because, you know, solo player and practically no armor. And that about wraps it up. Pretty much full glass cannon, so you need to utilize cover-to-cover movement. As a solo player, you often have to play the sniper in a much more flexible way and be prepared for engagements at all ranges. I wouldn't say that this was a particularly easy playstyle, but it's certainly quite satisfying once you get the hang of it. Like I said earlier, there are many ways to hit much higher numbers, but in most cases on Heroic, you shouldn't need any more for one-hit kills. Just land those headshots. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!
Piece of shit wristwatch. Watch.